The historian Yuval Harari, very famous for his books Sapiens, and in his book Unstoppable, he called unstoppable the human race, saying that we are very different to the rest of all the species for two basic things. Three, actually. One is the capacity of imagination. The second one is communication and our capacity of collaboration. But communication is one of the center of his point, and it's because of our capacity of language. So our ability to communicate in a different way is our strength, but also is also one of our weaknesses. I'd like to share with you two weaknesses among many that we face as humans in our relationships. One is the limitations of verbal communication. And the second one is that what we think and we communicate is based on our cognitive bias in the stories we create. So in this video, I'd like to share with you about the limitations of verbal communication. When I was a young therapist, and I thought at that time that I knew everything, as we do when we are young, many years ago. In that case, there was this couple that I was helping as a therapist, and they were not in good terms. So I asked them, would you like to share what are the issues that you are facing? So the woman started very quickly and very articulate, very strong, and presenting the issue. And we were in Argentina, we were speaking the same language, Spanish. We have similar level of educational level. So we were in a similar culture in that sense. But when she was presenting that again, so articulate, when she finished, the husband or the partner responded to her to say, this is what you are saying. And she looked at him very angry and said, you don't get it. You never get it. You will never get it. Of course, she said it in Spanish. No entendés nada. Nunca lo entendiste y nunca lo vas a entender. In Spanish. It sounds better in Spanish, doesn't it? So she was very strong with her. And he put his head down and said, oh, I'm sorry. So for me, a wise, know-it-all therapist, I say to her, well, this is what I heard. So this is when I was talking to her thinking I got it. She looked at me and said, you didn't get it either. So wow. So what happened here? So it was fascinating how something expressed with so well articulated we couldn't get it. And this is because of the limitations of the verbal communication. When we communicate verbally, in that case, that lady, that woman, she needed to articulate her situation, her story, and then I'm going to talk about that story later. Her story, she needs to articulate the story into words. And she needs to transfer those words through language. And the way we do it in communication, verbal communication, is one word after the other. So it's linear and successive. So the other person, the listener, needs to start listening one word after the other. Meanwhile, you are creating your story. You're creating a story, and when you respond, also you respond what you have created. And sometimes that creates big trouble. This is why another way of dealing with communication, especially in the counseling or coaching environment, is instead of saying to the person, tell me more, because if I will say to that woman, tell me more, she will continue in the same story, in the same way. But instead of saying, tell me more, we say, show me. And what he showed was revealing. When she showed how she felt, the partner looked at that, the husband looked at that, and she said, I never thought that you felt like that. It touched his heart. Before he was tense, and then I said to him, how did you see that she was presenting? And this is how she presented. He presented her as a very strong woman and presenting the issue very well. And he was feeling little, but she was feeling very downhearted in the corner by something that she was not presenting in her story. So this is one of the powers of transferring one verbal communication that is linear and successive to what is the power of the play of life that transfers the information into something that is simultaneous and three-dimensional. You don't need to wait to see the picture. It happens there. So this is one of the powers that we have in the play of life, to be able to facilitate one of our strengths, that is communication, to be able to share with one another what we really feel, what we really see in our heart, so the other person can hopefully see it better. And for us, a therapist is an amazing tool to be able to have a look at a picture, but also for her was a wonderful insight. She said, this is how I feel. And for the therapist again, and the coach, to see, wow, so now we can say, I know what you are talking about. And that creates an encounter. So, once again, the limitation of verbal communication is because of this linear and successive. And in the next video, I'm going to share with you about the story we create.